Welcome to the Know. I'm Master Jenkins.
I'm John Reisinger.
Could we be getting not one, not two, not even three, but 4 Batman-related films in a single year in 2019? Is Mel Gibson still in the running to direct Suicide Squad 2? Well, we've got possible answers to all those questions and more! Thanks mostly to some leaks about the future of the DC Extended Universe that were posted online recently.
Okay, sounds good. So yes, if the rumors are true, we now know a lot more about the future plans for the DC Extended Universe, including long-term plans, directing candidates for upcoming movies, plans for new animated films, and a lot more.
Now, we should qualify all this by saying that these still are very much rumors. We're learning this courtesy of a post on 4chan, of all places, and while some of these leaks have been credible in the past, there's no guarantee this is true. However, it does pull a lot of other sort of disparate rumors that we've heard together into something that would make sense.
All right, disclaimers out of the way. With all that in mind, here's what the anonymous poster claims that Warner Brothers has planned for the future of DC Comics movies. Maybe the most interesting is the claim that the studio plans to release 4 Batman-related films in 2019.
That is so many Batman films in one year.
It's a lot. It includes Gotham City Sirens around Valentine's Day weekend.
Oh, of course it does.
Just in time to ruin that holiday. Nightwing on Memorial Day weekend. That's interesting. Batgirl in August. That's very interesting considering the director. And The Batman in November. All this is apparently a move to celebrate the 80th anniversary of Batman, which would be pretty ambitious, but kind of cool if they pull it off.
Right. As for the upcoming standalone Batman film, The Batman, we learned a little bit more about what it might look like. Plan is to have Deathstroke in the movie still, but maybe not as the main villain. The director, Matt Reeves, apparently wants to do a larger scale Batman film that will include the Bat family as well as most of Batman's rogues, according to the leak. And by rogues, we assume that means arch-enemies. But sadly, the leaker didn't elaborate. On the bright side, Batman has lots of arch-enemies.
Yeah, he does. And they all have to do with animals. We also learned that 2 Batman animated films are planned for 2019, which sounds like it would be in addition to the 4 live-action Batman-related films for that year.
So that makes it 6 Batman movies.
So, yeah. That might be a little bit oversaturation. That might be a bad impression, and this might be even just a bit much, even for his 80th birthday. That's a lot of bat.
As for the Nightwing movie, the post claims that Deathstroke's son, Grant Wilson, might be the main bad guy. According to the movie's plot, he's hired by criminal mastermind Roland Desmond, aka Blockbuster, to take out all the mob bosses in the famously violent city of Bloodhaven.
Yeah, that all makes sense to me. DC also plans to release 4 movies in 2020, 2 of which would be bigger budget films, and 2 would have smaller budgets. One of those might include the Flash movie, which could be directed by Jonathan Levine, who is allegedly in talks to direct.
Now, speaking of directors, Matthew Vaughn, who directed Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class, could take on the directorial duties for the Man of Steel sequel, and if that happens, according to the leaks, he would most likely write the sequel as well.
While we're on the subject of sequels, the leaker also gave some info about the upcoming Suicide Squad sequel. The leaker claims that Mel Gibson is no longer in talks to direct it, and that the frontrunners are now Jean-Colette Serra and Ruben Fleischer. Colette Serra is known for directing House of Wax.
Wow, so real prestigious.
Don't brag too much, as well as, yeah.
Look, it's Paris Hilton died in that one. A lot of people like that movie.
He also directed the thrillers Orphan and The Shallows.
Okay, a little bit better, yep.
While Fleischer gained notoriety for directing Zombieland and Gangster Squad. The script for the Suicide Squad sequel is being written in connection with a story pitch given by David Ayer, who directed the first one, and the sequel will feature a new female lead, Killer Frost, who replaces Harley Quinn.
Right, because she's going to be busy being a Gotham City Siren for Valentine's Day.
There you go.
Now, we also learned more about the script for the upcoming Dark Universe movie, which is basically a live-action version of DC's Justice League Dark cartoon, which features the superheroes battling an invading force of demons. Because they didn't have enough to do already.
Yeah.
Final rewrites of the script are currently ongoing based on the previous script written by Guillermo del Toro. The movie could start filming this summer if director Doug Liman is ready.
So yeah, if these rumors are to be believed, there are a massive amount of plans in play for the DC Extended Universe, and while you should definitely take these with a grain of salt, it's interesting how specific some of these rumors are. Does that mean they're more believable? That's up to you.
Well, what is without question, though, is that DC still has big plans to build out the film universe. They're not taking all of the critical receptions too much to heart because, let's face it, those movies still make so much money, it's hard to learn some kind of lesson there.
Yeah.
I mean, people may say, I hate this, but here's my money.
Yeah.
Of course, the current gold standard for superhero movies is generally considered to be Marvel, who have shown that a series of interconnected movies mean big, 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 big bucks.
Yeah, and if you get Joss Whedon involved, it helps too, so DC's
Right,
doing that.
with the Batgirl.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of other studios and publishers trying to emulate Marvel's success. Not just DC. Disney, which owns Marvel, is also fleshing out its Star Wars universe with a series of standalone movies, finally putting some meat on the bones of a franchise that had been pretty dormant aside from the core movies.
Well, I mean, it had the whole, the whole extended universe until they went, nah, maybe not. And all the games that are now also, and,
Cartoons.
they had a lot of things that they then decided killed it. So they really unfleshed it out and are now refleshing it out.
Yeah.
And even Sony is planning to build out its own universe based entirely on Spider-Man characters, which it acquired from Marvel years ago. For more on that, check out a video we put out over the weekend. We'll link it in the end card. Meanwhile, 20th Century Fox has long been putting out movies based on the X-Men franchise with varying degrees of quality since 2000.
So let's go back to DC. The next big movie up in its extended universe is the standalone Wonder Woman movie, which releases on June 2nd. And we're hearing that it's projected to possibly do worse than DC expected.
We'll never get lady hero movies again. According to Box Office Pro, the current predictions have Wonder Woman making $83 million over its first 3-day weekend. That would mean the movie would make around $225 million domestically at the box office lifetime, and those are big numbers, but they would still be below any of the previous DC Extended Universe movies.
So that could be a bummer for DC, which clearly hopes that 2017 is the year it gets its extended universe off the ground, because 2016 wasn't exactly that.
Well, regardless of whether we all get on board with it, they are getting that shit off the ground.
Yeah, they're just gonna make stuff.
They're making it happen, regardless of whether anyone likes it.
Besides Wonder Woman, the Justice League movie is set to release on November 17th, and you can bet that DC and Warner Brothers have high hopes for both of the movies.
Yeah, so far the DC Extended Universe, look, it hasn't been a flop.
No.
But it hasn't been going smoothly either. After
No.
Man of Steel, which was a moderate success in 2013, we got Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad both last year, and while both were profitable, they were also hated by critics and, well, the majority of fans. There are people who enjoyed both movies, and you know what? You enjoy what you enjoy. No shame, but overall, they got 27-25% scores on Rotten Tomatoes, respectively, which isn't a great sign. So we'll see if Wonder Woman and Justice League can actually turn things around, or if DC will just keep playing second banana to Marvel.
What do you guys think about the rumors for the future of the DC Extended Universe? Do you think they're real? Let us know in the comments.
I mean, 4 to 6 Batman movies in a year, that's a lot. But it is 80th anniversary, and they'll look for any anniversary excuse to put out a ton of crazy stuff, right? It could be good. I mean, Joss Whedon working on Batgirl, that's exciting.
That's what I'm excited about. I hopefully do a good job with that, and they'll let him just kind of run with it. Don't mess with Joss.
Nightwing, I mean, you get Mr. Zombieland on board, and that's really promising. So they could make it happen.
Gotta get a sexy Dick Grayson.
I'm keeping hope alive. What?
Yeah.
Anyway, for all your DC and Marvel movie news, as we continue to live through the current golden and not so golden era of superhero movies, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know. And I was not hired for my Dracula impressions.
It's not even Dracula. He's the Count.
I know, but he's based on Dracula.
Do you know where that comes from? Is that an old lore was that vampires can't help but count things. They love to count it. And so it's actually part of old vampires lore.
The Counting Dracula.
Yeah.